3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Welcome to another podcast with the SIP Warriors, Quadzilla Karina.
Hi, and Viking Josh.
Today, our two special guests, Jose Yanis and Bo Alanis. Does that say it correctly?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, there we go. So these are two of the three owners, correct, of 85 Jiu-Jitsu, Black Belt, and Mr. Purple Belt, who just competed this past Friday. We wanted to have them on the show to kind of go over, dedication and persistence in every area of life, not just with fitness, but also with anything that you truly want to accomplish in life. And with that being said, we want to kind of turn over the floor a little bit and let you guys kind of speak about some of your own battles. A lot of people think that we don't have battles because we're into fitness or martial arts, whatever. And people just think, oh, it's so easy for you guys, when in reality, they don't understand it. It's that much harder. The more you push, it just gets harder and harder. You just learn how to deal with it better.
It's that saying that goes with every new level comes a new devil.
Yep, that is true. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it is quite a commitment to anything that you do, right? For a long period of time, you're gonna get tired of it, and obviously, you always got about reassessing your goals and always going back to the reason why you're doing it. And personally, I'm very passionate about martial arts, helping people, and my own personal goals of competing. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
And this is Jose. Jose, introduce yourself and
Yeah,
tell
so-
us a little bit about you and how it all started.
Yeah, so I am Jose. I've been doing martial arts for almost 20 years since I started as a kid. I did Taekwondo and boxing, but then eventually my true love is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And thankfully I did some MMA, but now I'm more focused on what we have now, which is the program of 85. And that's teaching and guiding other people to accomplish their goals. So that's what we're doing now. And this is Bo. This is one of our partners.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Bo.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Bo. I actually just I got started in this. I've always been interested, in martial arts. I think I did karate when I was 8. I did it for a few months, but it was always something that was that caught an interest. And then kind of growing up, I never really did anything physical up until about 15 years ago when I started just like, I want to do it. I want to do it. So I don't remember if I jumped online or if I saw a sign on the side of the road, but I saw a sign, I called a number, and I showed up, and that's actually where I met him 15 years ago.
Wow.
And started training. I realized how out of shape I actually was when I started training with other people physically and trying to move their bodies. And
Can I say something that real quick, guys? We train, we're active. Let me tell you, that is a whole new beast, okay?
Yes.
The first day we were there, I was sore in places I didn't even know existed. So it's a whole different physical challenge. So, don't ever think you're too fit to do anything, because let me tell you, that was very humbling for us.
Very much.
So,
Well, I think it's we're not used to doing certain movements that you're doing in jiu-jitsu. So that's I remember that exactly. Like back in the day, I was first day I was right into sparring, so there wasn't really like a lot of guiding you into the martial art. That's why it was very thin back in the day. And that, like he said, that's where we met. I actually saw a sign on the streets that said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I was always very interested, but I had never been able to do it just because the art was kind of fresh starting, and the UFC was just now booming. But yeah, thankfully I was able to find it and realize that, it works muscles of your body that you're not used to it. But with that said, it gives you abilities that you never thought you could develop.
yes.
I would say for us, especially for me, it's something I've always wanted to do. I did Taekwondo when I was younger, probably 9-10 years old.
Yeah.
I think we all did.
Yeah, but I'm from a small town, so I'm not even sure it was legit. It might have been like a PE teacher. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things that, for me growing up, I've always been active, and martial arts has always been my older brothers, sisters, my little brother. Everybody has done some sort of karate, Taekwondo. And then I got into sports, loved sports, and then eventually grew into fitness as I got older, and then still loved the aspect of MMA or jiu-jitsu, karate, Muay Thai. All that's always been an interest, and it wasn't until actually Lee, shout out to Lee, you're missed today.
Fitness Depot. Yep.
That he was like, yeah, I've been doing jiu-jitsu, you should come join. And it was a little further away, and I'm like, yeah, it's just a little far right now, and work and life. And then when he told me y'all were opening the academy, 85, I was like, okay, let us know, and we'll make it a point. And then one day we went and bought some equipment from him.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm like, whatever happened with the studio? He was like, oh, come look. And we go in the back, and all the mats are down, not the wall mats, but the mats on the floor. And he was like, why don't y'all come tomorrow? And I'm like, and I had no excuse. I'm like, okay, we'll be there. You know, so.
Yeah, I know Lee's definitely the person that's perfect candidate to help people, guide people into the sport. He's very enthusiastic.
Yes, he is.
You know, that's
Absolutely.
something I admire about his energy. I'm more of a low key, very active, good energy, but I'm more of an observer, and then I go and act. He's a go getter for sure, and I really admire that attitude. And everything's grown like you said, is like we're just passionate individuals, right? So he lives close to Lee, and I live with him now, and so we just started getting together and working out because we're all teammates at Team Took, but Professor Travis Took, that's where Lee started, and that's where I met him. And the idea of like just wanting to bring this out to more people so they can not only enjoy but embrace and really take all the benefits of what martial arts has done, at least to me. I want other people to have that. And Lee's a huge influence of why now we have 85. So, shout out to him. Too bad he couldn't be here today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real quick, just on that note, guys, if you're familiar with Fitness Depot, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 85 is at the same location.
Yes.
So, if you're interested, please schedule a consultation with them. You could follow them on
Instagram
Yes.
and Facebook.
And what is the handle?
85 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, there you go. And we'll be sure to share it, but definitely we highly encourage it.
It's amazing, and for me personally, it kind of took me to the next level, I think, in my not only fitness but my mental journey.
Yeah.
Because it's like one of those things when you start getting stale, it's like I need to find another goal.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like I wanted to do a bodybuilding show, but then it's like, well, then you get up there, you do all this hard work, and you got to rely on somebody's opinion of you, or 3 different or 5 different people's opinion of you. And for me, it's like, to me, it's just not fair. Karina's done several shows, and some of those shows, I've seen the judges where it's like, and I kid you not, there was 3 judges, and 2 of the judges up front were these extremely overweight people. They were sitting there eating donuts. Yeah, and I'm like, how are you a judge at a bodybuilding show? You're literally sitting there eating donuts, like at a show. I don't get it. So, like, to me, that was kind of like turned me off to wanting to compete, because here you are judging people who has dedicated the last 6 months or year of their life solely to get on that stage and compete.
Yeah.
And to me, it just wasn't fair.
Yeah.
But once I started at 85, to me, after I'd say like the second session, it was like, okay, I want to compete in the near future. Like, even though for me, it's like, I know I still have a long way to go, but I just want to jump in head first, because to me, it's like, it's already the second love behind fitness, for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like goes hand in hand.
And it becomes very addictive, and especially after your first competition. I personally competed right off the bat, and probably not ready, but it was still a good experience that made me. You would think getting, losing and getting knocked out right away would be very discouraging for me, but actually made me come back and prove it.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
I have to prove myself that
Exactly.
I can do this.
Yeah.
I've never imagined that now we'll be on a podcast talking about a business that we're opening through a journey that I started years ago. But yeah, man, competing is very addictive, and the biggest thing that it's going to do is going to show you that other side of yourself that you didn't know you had, right?
Can I just interrupt real quick? You said something that really captures my attention, and I want other people to catch that. You got knocked down, and what did you do?
Came back.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
To me, that has so much symbolism just because of life. You know, you can get knocked down and stay down and be the victim, or you can get up and fight and be a victor.
Yeah.
I just had to say that out real quick. That just point that out.
It is because that's gonna happen in life. That's gonna happen in journey. That's gonna happen in your hobby. That's gonna happen everywhere.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, he's seen my past few years. And before that, obviously, you always have your up and downs. But I think anything that ever happens in life, where it's a loss, whether it's a trauma, whether it's bad luck, whatever it is, it's really, you gotta embrace it, because that makes you who you are now.
That's right.
You know, and allows you to tackle on other stuff in the future. That's why I feel mentally stronger. I feel like I'm ready. Dealt with a lot of things that, how low can it get? It's only going to get better than this. So
That's right.
that's just always the mentality.
Good.
One
Sorry.
thing that I've always heard is once you hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go.
Yep.
And yeah, exactly. So I've been there personally myself, and to see how far I've come personally, and just to get into something else that helps me push myself to another goal is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the next thing, I would like to talk about like your own personal struggles. I mean, you don't have to get too detailed,
Yeah.
but Bo, for you, cutting weight, right? So Bo has actually followed one of our meal plans to cut weight on this one, which he did an awesome job.
He's an SAP warrior.
Yes,
So even prepping for a competition, I almost said show, competition.
It was a show. Don't
know.
take that away. He put on a show.
But on that, I mean, it's a lot more than just food and cutting weight. I mean, I imagine 95% is mental, right? I mean, for both of y'all competing.
Oh yeah. So whenever I did start to compete, I competed at a higher weight. Whenever I did, I think my first competition I was 225.
Wow.
And I mean, that's just me, just and seeing him and kind of seeing him and like him just going out there and competing, like, man, I want to do that. I want to do that. So like I knew that I had to take that step. I knew I had to start just going there and compete. And I lost. I mean, I would lose my first competitions. I would just get destroyed. But but I
With a smile.
yes. Like, man, I embraced the grind. I can say I have never been submitted. I've never tapped due to pressure. I've never given up during a match.
Good for you. I love it.
And there has been times where in a match where I've lost the entire match. The last minute, the last 60 seconds, I scored all my points because he just got so tight, and I won gold.
That's
I got
awesome.
gold.
That's awesome.
I won gold at the time. I mean, he the first 5.5 minutes or so, he completely beat me up. But the last few seconds, because I didn't give up, and that's I don't win all my matches, and you're gonna learn that as you go. So you do have to take those and learn and pick yourself back up, and because you embrace the grind. And when things get and I think I carry that over to my job and to my life, man. When someone's on top of you and they're just grinding and it hurts and it's uncomfortable and you don't want to be there anymore. Like when someone's there and their shoulders pressure.
Preach it.
But it's not enough to make you like say I'm done.
Yep.
I want to quit. It's just not enough. So it's the mental part too that carries over into life. When at work, when I'm when they throw something on me, it's like, man, this is a hard job. I don't know, but it's like, man, you know what? Let's do it.
That's
just
right.
Embrace the grind, slowly but surely. You work your inches.
Yeah.
Try and get out and do the best that you can.
So real quick, so for those that don't know what work the inch is, so that's shrimping. So this is such an awesome, oh man, I don't even have the word. Yeah, the concept that what he just explained. So when you're in a very difficult spot, when you're fighting, when you're sparring during jiu-jitsu, there's only one thing you could do is, like he said, you squiggle and you
Keep
wiggle
moving.
and you shrimp out. And that's what he's talking about. So the same thing with life. You just have to suck it up, buttercup, and squeeze out and wiggle out and keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
Keep
And
fighting.
that's mental, physical.
Yes.
I mean, that's your job, that's your life, that's your home life, relationships.
Yeah.
Silence.
No, yeah. I
He's not mad.
I agree with Bo, but I think that that's the part of molding yourself.
Yeah.
It's like you can embrace the grind, but it's like, what are you embracing, right?
You got to
Why?
find a very powerful why.
The why and how. So what martial arts or jiu-jitsu does, like just for people that don't understand what it is think about when you grab your crazy dog and you're pinning him down, so much energy, and he finally relaxes and goes,
Yeah.
that's what jiu-jitsu is. Another human being just pinning you down to the ground and you're trying to get out and panicking and moving. It's not just the pressure, it's just the feeling of being in control. But with that, the uncomfortable becomes very comfortable later on, right? So that's the idea of embracing. It's not because you're naturally tough. Yeah, you're tough, but the art molds you to be tough and to be able to withstand whatever comes your way. So eventually you're able to get out of situations like with very good critical thinking and rational thinking of the situation or where you're at. You know you're not
Yes.
going to die, right? So
Right.
you just work your way out, for sure.
Bo, I want to come back to you real quick. Bo has this, well, no, Bo doesn't. We have baptized a move called the bow. He is so good at that. So you want to talk about that one, Bo?
Is that just me just connecting to your hips?
Yeah. So
whenever
what I'm
you try and
saying,
move.
yeah, kind of have what is it called? Use that as a philosophy. You know, it's kind of what we're going through when we do the bow. When it was like, oh man, he's doing the bow on us. So
I like to follow the hips. So whenever I do get on top, and they start bucking and moving the hips and trying to get out, I just kind of settle down on their hip and I follow them. And it's just like riding a bull. You don't fight the bull.
Yep.
You flow with the bull, and then whenever they get back to that point, that's when you put your pressure back, and you can dig it a little bit, in deeper, and and the more they move and the more they follow, the more they're gonna get tired, and so that whenever they do settle down, that's when you can settle down your weight back then. It just feels even harder.
Yes.
It feels so. Yes, I do like that. I do like to. To do that move to wear the opponents down, and that's a mental break too.
yes, that's what for me. That's what he does to me, guys.
It's just like you can keep moving and moving and moving, and they're still on top of you, and they're still on top of you, and you're just like, there's nothing else I can do.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. But there is.
There is.
There is other stuff that you can do. You can keep doing what you're doing, which may or may not work eventually, or you try something else. There's so many different ways to go in jiu-jitsu. So
The reason I brought that one up is because we just started jiu-jitsu 2 months in now. 2 months?
2.5 months.
2.5 months. And guys, let me tell you, when Bo put that pressure and it was just like, what do I do? So, and it's learning how to be uncomfortable. And that's really what it is. And the technique is just, it doesn't matter how strong you are, honestly. Here, the strength is, what is it, mere to none, or how does that saying go? It's all about technique. And it's amazing. It's amazing because, Jose, it's like literally I'll be like, and he's like, so guys, this is what you do. And he's just sitting there having a conversation and I'm dying over here.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, guys. It's amazing. I can't brag enough about them. They are truly amazing coaches. They really are.
Yep.
And
Thank you.
you need to really come and check them out.
Yep, I think one of the things that we can see right off the bat is how much a passion it is.
Yes.
And that's what really connected us with you guys. Is it's a passion. You just like for us, fitness is a passion. It's to us, it's like we want to help people, and that's what we can see in you guys as owners, and Lee as well. It's like, hey, we want to help you get to that next level. We want to help you reach your next goal, whatever it is. And the same with us in the fitness industry. It's like we want to help you, and it's a passion. It's like, man, when you hit your goal, that's a goal for us.
Yeah.
Because it brings joy to you, and that joy brings joy to us.
Exactly.
And that's how I can see jiu-jitsu and 85 being. It's like, to me, it's a second home already for us.
Yeah, and you can see it even with you guys who only been training for a couple months. Like you see the just like the being addicted into the feeling of wanting to get more. I don't know if that happens to you, but when I was a fairly beginner, I remember if I couldn't go to class, I felt so off. And I felt jealous of my teammates because they're out there training, and I feel like, man, I'm going to show up and they're going to know this new move and they're going to do it on me. And I'm very competitive. Not that I'm trying to prove to anybody, but to myself, and I was just like, but it's pretty addictive for sure.
It is.
It's funny because we went on vacation last weekend and went to visit family, and I'm like, man, we had to miss 2 classes, and we drove back Monday, and I'm like, no, we have to leave early enough. I get home, take a nap, we're going to class Monday night. But while we were there, I'm like, let me look up some places so I can go practice over here, go to class. We didn't go, but I was just like, oh man, right now we'd be doing jiu-jitsu, it was like Friday night.
That guilty feeling.
Man, I can't believe we're not there. It's the same way. I'm very competitive, but I think I'm harder on myself because I want to hurry up and reach that next level. And it's not about rushing it, but it's like, man, I want to be able to learn it. That way I can instill it in my mind, on how to perfect my moves and to get better.
But I think every process is very unique, especially the white belt level. At least the way I see it is one day you're going to be a blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and eventually a black belt, right? So you're always going to move up with time. That will come. What you'll never be able to go back, kind of like our childhood, right? We'll never go back and relive our childhood. So we have to learn how to embrace it and enjoy it, right? So that's the cool part about the mistakes is like I look at people get frustrated sometimes. Not you, but some people get frustrated. I'm like, I know that feeling, but that's what makes you who we're gonna be, right? But and then traveling too is like you said. Eventually, through jiu-jitsu, I was able to meet so many people, go to so many academies. See so many cities that I never thought I was going to be able to go to, and then eventually you guys will get there, traveling and competing. That would be fun for sure. Yeah.
Just so you know, guys, we will be competing.
I
the whole family,
wait.
the kids, myself, and Josh. We're coming.
No, it was cool to see you guys at Submission Hunter. It was the last show where Bo competed at. It's a local event here in Houston, and they do what they call super fights, where it's a center stage and there's people, there's a crowd, they have music, you walk out, and then you compete, and it's really cool.
It's a very cool experience, and it does bring the nerves and the anxiety, leading up to it. But I like to think about it is like, if I were to tell my 15-year-old self, hey, you get a chance to compete on stage with a walkout song, and there's going to be a crowd, and if I were to tell my 15-year-old self, hey, you have the opportunity to do this, are you going to do it? I would say, heck yeah, let's go, let's do it. So that's that's kind of the motivation that I have, is like I have the opportunity to do this. I'm doing something that how many people have ever done? Been able to walk on stage and compete in front of people that paid money to see you. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Not very many
Put
people
on a
have
show,
that,
baby.
Yeah, and not very many people have that opportunity. So I really want to take advantage of that. And Eric puts on a great show.
Yes.
Shout out to Eric Garcia. But yeah, it's a great show. It's a great production, and he's only getting better at it too. So
it was an awesome show. It was our first one going, but we're definitely be going to the next ones, and it was a great experience. It was a great time and a great show also. It was awesome. So
just real quick, Bo, can we just talk real quick about the difference between your cuts?
Yes. So before, whenever I would cut weight, now I've never missed weight, but the way that I would cut is, basically, how do you drop weight? You stop eating. You don't eat food, and you drink nothing but water. And I would eat frozen grapes. And, like that was my plan. And I would lose weight, and I would be there. And then, but I would feel horrible whenever I would compete. I would just feel weak. I would feel tired. This time, I actually used the best weight cut that I've ever had. Actually, I weighed in at 5 pounds under my the weight class. I was supposed to be at 180. I actually weighed in at 175.6, I think it was, and I felt good. And I not to say that I did excellent in my match. The guy was obviously more stronger than me, more quicker, but I never stopped moving. And even after the match, I felt good. I really wanted, I wanted to go again. I wanted to go. It's like, man, I feel really, really, really good. I fought for 7 minutes, and I still wanted to keep going.
You had
after
that
the match.
energy.
So yes, and that's I think that's something that I've always lacked during my matches. Is that energy. It's time. I need to apply it better. I now I know more what I need to work on. My explosiveness and my physical attributes and my jiu-jitsu as well. Looking back, I go back and I watch my matches, and I'm very critical of everything. And I look at I could have done that. I could have done that. You don't see it at that time because it happens so fast. Mm-hmm. It happens so quick. So going back and being able to watch your match and seeing everything that you do and seeing all the bad habits that you have is really good. Because it allows you to actually see it and make those changes mentally first. Mm-hmm. And then you change it here first, the body's gonna follow.
Yes. And real quick, thank you for sharing that. So, and on that one, so Professor Jose, very laid back coach. He was on the side. Go!
Yeah.
I think I even captured some pictures.
Yeah, we were I think we were focused going, you see Jose right here and then Bo's in the match. Which one are we watching the most?
Yeah. Yeah, well, my job was just to keep him in the match. Because if he stopped moving, that guy definitely was going to settle. He had Bo in pretty vulnerable positions where, if you don't stop moving. Thankfully, he used the wrong strategy, which we always joke about it, which is attacking his neck. And Bo, those of you guys don't know, Bo is pretty difficult to choke.
I would say extremely difficult.
Yeah, but no, I was just trying to keep him in the match, and he kept moving for sure.
And also I do want to thank you guys and everybody at the academy because we drilled that. Y'all would take my back.
Yes.
And y'all would sit there, and he would put me in the vulnerable position then with the grip so that when I was there, I was like, I got this. I can get out of this. Which I was able to get out. He was just able to reestablish it. I got out. I escaped. He just was able just to get right back on it. So
it was funny because we were all sitting there and everybody was out of their seats. Get up, Bo, go, Bo. And then at one point when he had your back, everybody's like, oh no. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. He'll get out of it.
Yeah, I think one of the only things that I was telling Bo is that I didn't want him to panic.
Right.
Not necessarily because the choke was there, but because you're on stage. Makes you do decisions that you very critical decisions, and you don't want to go to sleep, right? So yeah. But as long as he kept moving, he was fine, and that's a great experience for sure.
I think a lot of the times that people. It's kind of like with everything in life, right? When you get into a bad situation, you panic or you do the wrong thing, but then a lot of times what people do is they'll want to give up afterwards, right? So and during the match, I seen a lot of things that typically I wouldn't pick up on, but not even in jiu-jitsu, but just in life in general. I seen sometimes when the competitors were being coached, that the coach was like, do this, do this, do this, and for some reason they would do the complete opposite and get tapped out. And it just reminds me of, people just in life in general, whether it's your job, your career, or starting a business, no matter what it is, right? I mean, you guys know, making an academy and building it, that there's a lot of obstacles you run into that you don't see in the beginning or that you wouldn't think would come to pass. I mean, it's like competing, right? I would imagine you're always going to run into something else that you didn't plan for.
Yeah.
But you have to also have that mindset of no matter what it is, I have to keep going. Don't panic, don't stop, don't freeze, don't give up, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what can I do next? It was the same for us.
Adapt.
You have to.
It's
you
about
have to
adapting.
adapt. And even for us, when we started our business, it was, in the beginning, the business, blew up and we were doing awesome. And then a slow season hit and we didn't panic, but it was like, whoa, we weren't prepared for this. what can we do next to go around it to get through this. So, and we did, and we kept going, okay, how can we avoid that same move, that same submission on the next go around? And that's what we try to always plan for. And even in life, it's like when you deal with any type of issues, whether it's with your career, a lot of people, what they'll do is, oh, I didn't get that promotion, or I didn't get the next job, or I didn't get this new job. Well, I guess I'm just stuck here. So what they do is, you could see their effort start to come down a little bit because they're upset or emotionally hurt from not making it to that next move. Yeah. And it's almost like getting submitted.
I'm a firm believer in timing. As well. For example, for jiu-jitsu techniques, for it to work, and you gotta have the communication, and then for life, So if something doesn't work out for you, maybe it's a good time, and there's always a reason why things don't work out, right? So you get caught up in that frustration. But yeah, the way I look at it too is like, which is very interesting. It's almost like a video game. I'm you guys' professor, but I'm more than a coach. I'm a guide. Like, I guide you to where I think you have to do. You're different than Bo and Karina. You're different than them, right? So you're going to form of a different guide. And then my job is I have my style, my things that I like, but my job as a coach is to guide you to find what's best for you. You see what I'm saying? And then from there, obviously comes your own journey and becoming who you are. And that's the same thing that I was telling him. Like, now that he's a purple belt, making a little bit more of a name for himself, like he's seeing that, right? And that's what I want. I want y'all to have your own journey, be on podcasts, talk about stuff. And the reason why I mention that is because I've been lucky enough to have great mentors in my life. Professor Travis, shout out to Professor Travis, who's brought me to who I am and believed in me before I became who I am now.
That's awesome.
When I was just a tough guy, and he brought me in and gave me a job and gave me the confidence and took me around the country and taught me, and all those little scenarios that you're talking about. How do you deal with a slow season? Well, I seen him deal with all that stuff. He's brought us in as a team. He's done the operation to give me the wisdom and the experience for later on when it happens to me, not to panic. You understand? It's part of the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would some of your advice be for somebody that's wanting to start, in whether it's jiu-jitsu or a fitness journey?
Man, see, first of all, I get rid of your mentality of whatever's holding you back, because we all have something that's holding us back. And that's, I think we mentioned earlier about the brain and our conscious, subconscious. I'm big into that because I have to dig deep and discover a lot of things about myself. And so I'm actually going through a book called Mental Immunity, and it talks about how we create our own blockage, our mentality, and sometimes, for example, not that I want to get too involved, but political religion views, sometimes you don't listen to someone else and with the open mind because you already have a specific view, right? Well, it's the same thing when you're developing as a kid. All those times that your parents told you no, it's engraved in your mind to say you can't do something.
Exactly.
Don't do that. You can't. So our communication and sadly our pattern of how we're raised can hold us back. And that's at least from my own experience. I had to really dig deep in there to see what was it. I would say know yourself, right? See what's holding you back and realize that your fears are only something that's actually going to make you feel alive, telling you to go for it, right? I saw a quote from, I think it was Robin Williams, that said something like, we all fear what has already happened to us. And that made me really think about, that's so true, because now you're afraid of getting beat. What happened to you when you were young? So I say get rid of your fears, your mentality, understand that's part of what makes you, and go for it. I personally have not gotten to this point before because I was insecure and didn't think I belonged here. Didn't think I was meant to be an instructor while everyone around me was telling me. And then I'm working for someone who's running one of the most successful gyms in America, which is Travis. And I'm like, wait, I'm part of this process. Why can't I do it? But again, it comes from from
Believing in yourself.
believing in yourself, and sometimes you believe in other people too much. Instead of focusing on the right people that are telling you how to grow and showing you, you focus on the people that are gonna neglect you or put you down a little bit, and that might hold you back. So I think go for it. What happens if it fails? It fails.
You learn.
You learn. And the idea is, like you said, learn and adapt, which is same thing that jiu-jitsu is gonna do.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. A couple of the things that I've heard that really stuck with me is what you focus on is what you'll become. And one of those things is negativity. If you focus on the negative, like people that focus on that claim that they're stricken with bad luck, right?
Yeah.
They've been cursed. Well, they focus only on the bad, that's all they ever see coming into their lives is the bad. I have bad luck. I'm always getting into car wrecks. Well, that's all you're focusing on.
Oh, it's gonna come. Because
Exactly,
that's
it's
what
gonna
you're
come.
manifesting.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we firmly believe in, that you manifest into your lives, that the things that you focus on the most. I think what you said right now was one of the prime examples, especially for us when we started our business, is, oh man, are we going to be able to make it? Oh, what is this going to perpetuate into? What's it going to bring? And what if these people start talking bad about us, or what if these trainers don't approve of us, or these coaches over here don't? And now
Which it will happen.
It does all the time. And now we're to the point, like, your opinion of us doesn't matter.
Exactly.
We are helping people because it's a passion to us, and we're going to continue to prosper. We were put on this earth by God to help other people, and that's what we are doing in life.
I believe the sun shines for everyone,
I
right?
agree.
And so I think there ain't nothing that is gonna, not allow you to be who you are. So I think jealousy and envy is something that really can hold us back as well. And like you said, it's sometimes like, well, what are these people gonna say? Well, they're gonna say stuff.
Regardless.
What's the key? The key is right here. If you don't take it personal, if you take it personal, it's gonna mess you up for
Absolutely.
sure,
Yep.
right? I'm the book, what's it called? The one that I just listened with. Four agreements.
Yes, the 4 agreements.
4 agreements, and
That's
then
a great book.
that's a great book, and it talks about it, and then I'm starting to exercise a lot of those things, and even with the same book that I'm listening to right now, I exercise as I go. It's how you put your education to work, right? But yeah, the ability that I think the same thing. There's people out there, Josh, that are gonna shake your hand and say good luck, and then deep inside they want you to lose.
Stab you in the back.
Right?
Absolutely.
We've seen
It's like,
it.
or people like, well, I don't really want you to lose. I don't care if you lose, but I don't want you to win.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I think everyone can win.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
everyone can be a
Absolutely, yep.
superstar. Everyone can shine.
I agree.
Yep.
It's all about the intentions, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, it's happened quite a few times for us as well. It's like, hey, we want to be able to help you out. It's come to even other trainers, even with you guys, like, hey, whatever you need us to do, let us know. We're more than happy to help. And with some of the trainers, like, especially when we first started out, it's like, hey, how do you do this and how do you do that? And we were actually talking about this the other day. We've helped other trainers out. And I was like, oh, okay, well, how do we do this? How do we get into this? And like, here's what we've learned so far.
Yeah.
And this is in our beginning stages. And to have these people go behind your backs. And these were close friends of ours that literally went behind our backs and was messaging some of our clients, and they knew they were clients, trying to get them on board.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, man, I don't wish you any bad. It's like, to me, you're bringing bad upon yourself because you have bad intentions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you don't do that to people that are helping you out. So it was like, hey, I'm glad we met. We met for a reason. But at the same time, it's like, we'll help you out as far as we can. But your intentions are bad, and you know it.
But what's the effect of that, of them going out there and taking, a client, a customer from you guys, right? And they do take it. What's
Right.
going to happen? How they're, for example, a relationship, you go out and take a girl from some guy, and like, what's going to happen? You're going to live your rest of your life thinking that some other dude's going to come and
Exactly.
take her, right?
Exactly.
So I don't like, and that's something that, like, having 85 now, it's in the jiu-jitsu culture, is like people don't want people to go train at other gyms. And I would prefer to have our students invest in our own teammates at our gym, but I also understand, like, you have friends here and there, and I would not ever want to tell anybody they can't do something, because the moment that you say you can't go and do something, that's the moment that your life is going to be a little miserable, because you're going to be worried about it, right?
Yep.
And whoever is going to want to be there is going to want to be there. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, that's his actions.
Yep.
Doesn't determine who you are. It doesn't make you who you are,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Absolutely. So, Bo, what would be your words of advice for somebody wanting to get into it, whether it's jiu-jitsu or fitness, whatever it may be?
Do it.
You know,
Do it. You only live once.
Yeah.
Don't I hate to use the excuse that I'm getting old. 'Cause I do feel like I'm 38.
Everyone's getting old.
yeah, we don't get any younger.
Yes. So you know, like, do it now. Why not do it now? At least start it. I mean, even if it's something small, even if it's something as changing your eating habits. You know, I'm listening to a book right now, Atomic Habits, and it talks about that. You know, and it talks about creating habits as a kid and as you grow up, and
a
how
great one too.
and how hard it is to actually stop those habits. It's like a groove. You dig this groove in your brain that's always going to be there. Now it's going to take some time and to work to fill those grooves, and you can do that, but it's going to take work. And as long as you know, like, you really need to think about yourself and what you do and the bad habits that you have, and be honest with yourself about the bad habits that that you do have, because if not, you're fighting yourself. You can have great people behind you and create you meal plans and great guys that'll take you to the gym. But if on your free time, if you're not thinking about that and doing those same things and following those same rules, and you're going, well, I'm gonna order Taco Bell, and no one's gonna know, it's gonna make you feel great for that moment.
Yeah.
Temporary pleasures.
But in the long run, you're keeping those habits. Those habits are still there.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's like, how can you learn something new? Well, you gotta unlearn the other habits, right?
Absolutely.
But not only then, because you just said Taco Bell, just prime example. For us and our clients, I always tell people, it's like, you got to think of temporary sacrifices. It's those little sacrifices that add up and give you big results. So it's like, prime example, Taco Bell. Doesn't mean you're not going to have it, it just means don't have it right now.
Yeah.
Learn to have self-control, willpower. Those got to be the biggest things that we have to exercise. And a lot of people's like, oh, well, I can't. You can't. You already told yourself you can. So how about you change that and say, I can, and start practicing that, But yeah, that's
And eventually you don't want Taco Bell late at night.
Exactly. Listen, your body will reject it.
Yeah. So
Hey,
funny you say that,
it'll eject it.
because for the past 2 months, I've been on this diet plan, and I started eating bad right after my match. We went to Mambo's and I had the rice. The rice it's amazing, but the next day I just felt so full and so like I ate way too much. And even a beer, I think I had 2 beers, maybe 3 beers that night, and next morning I woke up like a headache. I had a headache. I felt hungover,
yeah.
like if I had drinking 20 beers.
Yep.
And it's like, man, like it really it showed me like how much my body
has
it
changed.
is changing.
Yeah. See what it is you literally detoxified your body without having to do a detox tea. You know what I mean? I just have to say that. You don't need to do that. All you have to do is just change your eating habits, make healthier choices, and your body adapts.
It's
like such an amazing creation.
Great thing I heard was you have to, if you want to gain something, you have to sacrifice something. So it's like for us, okay, if we want to gain strength, then you have to sacrifice the bad foods, right? Same thing with jiu-jitsu. It's like, okay, if I want to gain the knowledge of being able to learn the correct moves, then I gotta give up some time, sacrifice some time of sitting on the sofa and go to class.
Yeah.
It's more than just mental. Also, you got to sacrifice in order to gain.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
there is
and
to
leave
it.
your ego at the door.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No, it's definitely a huge commitment to your goals and what you want to accomplish. I mean, it's and you guys will see in the process. Like, eventually, Bo will be a black belt competing at a black belt.
Scary.
Scary.
I'm not racing. It's like I see that, and it's like, man, that ups a level.
But that's how it is, though. Like, you grow with it, because like
If your dreams and goals don't scare you, are you dreaming big enough?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Agreed.
just a big
Yeah.
one for me. So yes,
I think is the idea of being aware and being realistic, right? You can't be a black belt from one day to another.
No.
It's a process, right? So it's like I was telling you, you're a white belt, blue belt, purple belt. It's like at least my journey. As a lot of people have their own journey. At least my journey, like I want him to do regular competitions. Like you got to do a ton of regular competitions because that's what I did, and I wish I could go back and I should have done more. Because doing all those local competitions is what brought me to compete at more international level. Mm-hmm. And that's what brought me competing against some of the best guys in the world. And that's what brought me being able to fight like at some bigger shows. He's been to California with me to fight, and we're like, see these guys that we see in TV and the biggest stars in grappling.
Oh wow,
we're in the same bracket today.
Yeah.
That's
No, it was
awesome.
really cool. It was really
That
cool.
just sounds so familiar right now. I can relate.
Yeah. So when we first started, one of her biggest goal was to become WBFF pro, and she just, went hardcore and for years and years, and now in August she'll be doing her pro debut for WBFF in Vegas. So it was like the dream come true.
Yeah.
And another thing that stuck with me over the years is even rich people they say you can't take money to the grave, but you can take memories and leave your legacy behind, right?
Yeah.
Memories and photos and everything else. So for me, it's more important to chase your goals and dreams and to live, like you said, do more competitions. And for one, she actually pushed me into a couple. The first one was the shooting competition. So we had our chiropractor, shout out to Nemo and Chirodynamics, but they sponsored a shooting event. And he was like, man, we're one shooter short to do the competition. And I'm like, oh, she's like, well, he'll do it. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for that. And I hadn't practiced in years. And I'm like, oh.
He's an amazing shooter.
And she was like, yeah, he'll do it. And I'm like, I didn't.
Wait.
And he was like,
Yes.
oh, okay, awesome. I'll sign you up. I'm like, wait.
No. The best part is we get to the shooting event, and you've got all these people there with their really expensive guns and everything, and then he arrives there with this gun, and it's what do you call them, baby?
It's a pump shot gun.
It's a pump shot
and
gun.
it's at a shooting competition. So all the
Yes.
others are like over and under automatic guns.
Yeah.
Mine's just a pump shot gun, but that's what I've shot with for years. So that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I even bought a gun just for the competition and didn't use it because I wasn't comfortable with it.
But the looks he got when he arrived, like
even some of the comments, like,
yes, you're
did
gonna
he
shoot
really-
with that?
Yeah, you're really gonna
Like,
shoot
seriously.
with that? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Why?
but let me tell you, at the end, he kicked butt.
Yeah?
I was like,
Our team came in first place.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And out of everybody there, I only practiced twice for the competition,
Yeah.
and I came in 7th place out of everybody there.
Oh, wow.
And so it was an awesome experience, and I'm
Yes.
glad I did it.
Nice.
with his pump gun.
So it was awesome.
Yes.
It was awesome. And the other one was I did a CrossFit competition. A friend of ours, he was like, hey man, I need a partner for the competition. I'm like, when is it? He's like, 8 weeks away. I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I don't even do CrossFit. And he was like, can you do it? She was like, yeah, he'll do it. And I'm like, so I did it. I'm glad I did. We came in 5th place, but still, it was an awesome experience. And
That's
same
good.
thing with jiu-jitsu. And so now I'm like, yeah, I want to do a competition. I ain't ready for it, but I want to do it just to get it under my belt. To have that memory. So to build up the plaques on the wall. That's what I want to be able to remember, not how much money I have in the bank.
Yeah.
At
Well,
the end.
Sorry, baby. We're
Yeah.
going to have to cut it short, guys, because we could sit here and chat.
Oh,
You already
man.
know how we
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you so much,
Yes.
Jose and Professor Jose and Professor Bo.
It's not professor
black
yet.
belt, yeah, right.
Yes.
Coach.
Professor.
Coach
it'll be
Bo.
Coach Bo,
Yes.
thank you. So thank you, both of y'all, for coming and, spending the morning with us and sharing your knowledge. Definitely make sure that you subscribe to SIP Warriors. We do look forward to seeing them again. So just stay tuned.
Absolutely.
And also share. Sharing is caring. You know
Yes.
that.
Share
And
the podcast.
yes, please do. And thank you again for allowing us to, to spend time with you, sharing what we are able to share with you. And like always, iron sharpens iron. So any closing?
I would like to invite people to come out there in the North Houston area, Spring Branch, anywhere near Bellwood 8 and 290. We just started our kids program. and we
yes.
don't have
yeah.
we don't have a lot of kids, so it's a perfect scenario to get your kid who's fairly new, and obviously take advantage of the specials we have. We also just started our adults program not long ago, 2 months ago when you guys started, and we'd love to have anybody just come in, try it out. We do have our Instagram page. We also have our Facebook page, 85 Jiu-Jitsu Academy. And if you would like to contact us, text or call, phone number is 832-724-6866. Again, 832-724-6866, if that's okay.
Of course. No, please. Please.
But thanks for having us,
Yes.
and hopefully we can come out here and share more embarrassing stories and all that stuff. But yeah, thank you guys.
Yes, thank you again.
Yes, guys.
Did you have any closing comments?
No, I think he summed it up perfect.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us
Right.
today, guys, for the SIP Warrior podcast. And stay tuned.
And as always, work for those goals.
That's right. Have a blessed day, guys.
Bye.